You are now listening to the Friends of Rugby podcast. Relax your anus. Balls. Thick thighs. Camille Shat. Where's his neck? Eddie Jones. You're fucked, mate. We're nice now.
Was that a test?
Shut the fuck up.
Oh. What's happening?
Shh. Ba 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 ba. Man, I'm trying to take the tone of our intro and bring it into the podcast.
I thought you were having a fucking stroke.
No, you're interrupting it.
You tell me what's going on, man.
We have this soothing meditation tone, and I'm just trying to, try new things.
You're going to sing a song?
No, we're soothing in, we're doing that chanting to get into the podcast.
I'm an angry man. I don't do that.
Yeah, I'm trying to soothe us in. We got to carry the tone of our intro into the podcast.
Okay. Well, you got to warn me.
I guess I should have warned you.
What the fuck?
It's improv, man. You got to be,
okay. This is my improv style, being a piece of shit.
Yeah, that's like, just trying new things.
Yeah.
It's going to be big. We're going to get a million comments. Like, wow, Steve's humming intro changes the game.
I fucking hope so, because I'm confused. I can't even say the date. How is anyone going to know what day it is?
I just fucking threw you right off.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do.
What am I supposed to do?
Throw you right off. Throw everyone off. Yeah.
I'm supposed to be thrown off.
I guess so.
Okay.
I didn't think this through.
Next time I'll be more prepared to be thrown off. It's fine. It's fine.
Sorry, Frank.
That's okay.
Hello, everyone. You are listening to the Friends of Rugby.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
That's an intro.
You like that better?
Oh, yeah.
You don't like the chanting?
I didn't mind it. Just,
The chakra chant?
I was just like, what the fuck is happening?
It's kind of like an Italian anthem. Yeah, what's the date, Frank? So everyone knows.
February 11.
Thank God.
What a day.
It's almost my birthday.
Yes. You're having a little party, eh?
It's coming up. Yeah.
Excited.
The week after, because it's a long weekend. And everyone was skiing and doing shit.
Yeah.
So I'm locking them in
Yeah.
the weekend after where they don't have anything planned.
No, you got me early. I'll be there.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Good. Be a good time.
Yeah. How old are you going to be?
I don't want to talk about that.
Fair enough. Shouldn't have asked.
Also, we have some big news.
We do?
Yeah. New Zealand.
Yeah.
New Zealand has taken over. Most of our listeners now are from New Zealand.
Oh.
Yeah. What the fuck are you guys doing?
Where is New Zealand?
When I was 18, I had no idea.
Really?
That New Zealand was even a country.
You were a late comer to the rugby scene, though.
I was very late comer to the rugby
late
scene.
bloomer, weren't you?
I was 18 when I met my first Kiwi.
Really?
Yeah.
Was
I
he
met
nice
two
guy?
of them, two dudes.
They're good guys?
And we spent the night, we were in the forest in BC, and we were and they tried throwing some acorns and some raccoons. And we were in our underwear.
What?
It was a weird night.
Mushrooms or something?
But I had no concept of, they were telling me they're from New Zealand.
What is New Zealand?
I didn't even know what it was. I didn't even know it was country. I wouldn't be able to spot it on the map.
Oh my God.
And then I think 2 years later, I ended up moving there.
Yeah. You weren't even a rugby fan when you lived there, were you?
No, I showed up there. The first thing I noticed when I first got to New Zealand, was the shorts, because rugby shorts are very popular.
Like right? the high tight shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember being in a grocery store getting some groceries, and I'm looking around, and all these dudes are wearing shorts. What the fuck is wrong with this place?
They love thick thighs.
I was yeah, I remember telling friends back home, guys, all these guys here, they wear shorts. It's the weirdest thing. I don't know why. But they're super popular. I had no idea what rugby was.
Yeah.
I remember I had a friend, he brought me to the gym.
Yeah.
And as we're going into the gym, because I lived in a town called Dunedin.
Yeah.
And it was a big university town, and there's lots of partying. It was really good. If you're a young person, that's the place to go.
Yeah.
And there was a gym there. We're going into the gym, and this guy freaks out. He's like, "Oh, Steve, man." He's comes up to this guy. He was an older guy, maybe in his late 40s, early 50s.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Steve, I want you to meet," I forget the guy's name. And I'm like, "Oh, yeah." And he's like, "He's an All Black." And I look this guy in the...
if you don't know what that means...
I look this guy in the face, and I look at my buddy. His name is Tim. I look him in the face, and I'm like, "What's an All Black?"
half the gym drops their equipment.
It was just outside the front doors, but I remember this guy was actually like looked a little annoyed. Like this all black guy looked a little annoyed. What?
How dare you?
Yeah.
How dare you?
Yeah. I asked him, and he's like, and then my buddy's like, oh, it's like our national rugby team.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, rugby, that's like, what, like cricket or something? Like that's how little I knew that the sport existed. And this guy even looked more annoyed. Like I just embarrassed my friend. Like he was actually embarrassed.
They're going to put you on a plane to Australia.
And then, second here. Sorry, another Frank dog incident.
He's a good dog.
Yeah, but anyways, this guy looked like a little annoyed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I went to, I remember I got taken to a rugby game. I went to a Highlanders game, except back then they didn't have that fancy Forsyth stadium.
Yeah.
They had this like old wooden shed like stadium. It was small.
Yeah.
So I was expecting like, here in North America, our stadiums are huge and stuff like that. I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to go to this game.
Yeah.
And I go to this like shed.
Did you have a good time though?
I wasn't really paying attention.
Yeah, you just drinking.
I was drinking. There was me and the other loudest guy in the crowd, and it was a guy from Texas. And we were just partying because I thought the crowd was pretty tame.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah, and but I remember the first time I like paid attention to rugby. They like some friends were like, "Oh, there's a thing coming on. Hold on a second. You're gonna get upset with me here."
Okay.
But they're like, "Oh yeah, there's this event coming on. We always watch it every year." And it was called the State of Origin.
Yeah.
It was the rugby league thing in
I thought that was a union thing. I thought you just had to play for where you were
State
born.
of Origin is a league thing.
Oh.
And I remember watching that and being really attracted to that and really liking league at first.
Oh, it was a close shave.
Yeah.
I
almost went to the dark side.
The cult of league.
Yeah. Because it's such an easy game to understand, right?
That's why I hate it.
It's rugby for dummies.
Yeah.
That's what it really is. It's like rugby, it's diet rugby.
Yeah, it is.
There's like way less to worry about, right?
Yeah.
So there's so much less game. So like a dumb, stupid 20-year-old can be like, oh yeah, this makes sense.
Where a back can be a forward and a forward can be a back and nothing matters.
Yeah. And then I like left New Zealand, after 2 years, and then never thought about rugby until I actually started playing it.
In Canada.
Yeah.
Mad.
Yeah.
How old were you when you were officially a rugby fan?
Probably 10 years ago. So I was like 28.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Someone's like, I don't know if you can. So I went to go watch a rugby game. I'm like, oh, you know what? I want to try this. And then someone said, oh, I don't know if you have what it takes. I was like, what the fuck? He was right.
Initially,
10 years later, he was completely right.
Initially, at least.
Yeah, he was right. I still haven't had the game of games yet.
Well, our team is a little...
We're the bad news bears of rugby.
We're on some hard times, haven't we, our team? Yeah.
I always thought, like, when I have a game that I'm happy with, that's when I'll stop playing.
Yeah.
It hasn't happened. I haven't even come close.
I think you need to switch teams first.
But yeah, that's my New Zealand story.
Yeah.
I got a lot of stories.
I thought you were going to tell a story. Wasn't that the plan?
That was the story.
That was the story?
I was telling the story.
Oh, I like that story.
Yeah.
I just thought you were going to tell a different story.
Like what?
I don't know.
Like, what was I going to come up with?
I had a different idea in my mind. I thought it was going to be something about...
I walked onto the pitch, the All Blacks, and they're like, you know what, kid, you have what it takes to do something made up.
Then Tim walked up to me, gave me a pair of short shorts, said, welcome to the All Blacks.
Yeah, I remember these guys telling me stories too. They're like trying to get me into rugby there, and they're telling me stories like this fucking guy like got his ball sack ripped open in the game.
Yeah,
and then he like went back out and played the rest of the game.
Oh, I've heard that story.
Yeah, and there's some fucking player that like would when he would tackle guys, he would shove his fingers up their ass.
That's horrible.
Yeah, and I'm like, these guys are trying. This is how they're trying to like sell this game to me.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like shoving fingers up your ass. Of their ass, like what the fuck? I wish I could remember that guy's name, but
like it sounds deliberate.
Yeah, supposedly that guy's like a commentator or something like that with the sport now, and he was like in an interview.
Just sits there sniffing his fingers while he's talking.
He's put that thing behind him. He was like in some big interview, and the guy that interviewed was like, "Well, what about that?" And he puts his fingers up like, on TV, and the guy's like, "Fuck, man, I just want to move. I want to move past this."
When we were playing sevens last year, and I tackled a guy, and I grabbed around his midriff, and I got a good handful of his balls, and I wasn't really paying attention, so I went down with the tackle still gripping. And he was just in pain. I felt so bad. Like I just subbed myself off immediately because, I mean, he was fine once I said, look, I'm really sorry, man. I did not mean to get a good old handful and squeeze, But
I was in a scrum once and I had to play second row.
Yeah.
And I've never played second row before.
Yeah.
So they're like, yeah, you got to get in the second row. And I'm like, really? And they're like, yeah. So I get in there and I'm like trying to wrap my arm.
Yeah.
around. Like it was Joel who was playing loose head.
Yeah.
I was trying to grab my hand around his thigh there,
Yeah.
and we were getting cooked in the scrum. So my hand starts sliding down, and I'm trying to grab whatever I can. I grab his.
Give him a reach around.
I grab his whole fucking package.
Little morale boost.
I
Reach
didn't
around.
notice I was like squeezing and holding on to it too. I thought it was because everything's happening so fast, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's screaming. And we get out of this scrum and he fucking grabs me by the throat and he starts fucking choking me. He's like, "Watch your fucking hands! Watch your fucking hands!" I didn't know that. I didn't know.
He's an angry man, though, eh?
He is an angry man, but
Yeah.
sometimes you grab.
Sometimes you grab some things, but
Yeah.
I think the important thing is to apologize and move on, like I did.
Yeah, you have beer afterwards.
You do, hopefully. Yeah.
You gotta have that.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
why we play the sport.
Yeah,
Touch a bit of ball, have a little beer.
you just beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
And then you take your clothes off and you have a shower with them and have a beer.
It's the best sport.
It is the best sport in
I
the
wonder
world.
if they do that in league.
No,
They don't touch balls or have beers?
no,
No, probably not, eh?
no. They just go home and cry because they're
Yeah.
playing such a fucking awful, fucking diluted sport.
They've got a framed picture of a scrum, and they go, one day,
yeah, one day.
I'll be in a scrum.
Yeah, when I play real rugby. So let's talk about some rugby.
All right.
Let's talk about some Six Nations.
I like that intro, actually. It got there in the end.
Did it
I think so. We've
Kinda-
set the tone. We've set the tone well.
set the tone?
Yeah. Yeah, we have. All right, Six Nations.
Six Nations.
Chronologically.
Chronologically, now you're taking it. Now you're making it all structured.
Yeah, I
You're
am.
using
Yeah,
those words.
that's what I wanted. Do you want structure in my
I
life?
thought we talked. We weren't going to use any words more than 3 syllables.
Well, you started by singing a song, just sat there humming and telling me to shut the fuck up. So, there's a middle ground. Scotland, France.
Scotland, France. Let's
What?
just talk about the theme. I want to talk about the theme of this weekend.
The theme of this weekend.
Yeah, what would you say the theme of the weekend was? Like, what was it after watching the 3 games? Like, what's one word you could use to describe this weekend? How'd you feel?
Okay, well, I'll talk you through it. So, watching that first game, I was into it. And then I saw some internet comments that were like, that was a boring game. I really enjoyed the Scotland-France game. And then similarly, I saw some comments about Wales-England being a boring game. I'm Welsh, so I was engrossed the whole time. But I thought it was a good game.
I did too.
I don't know what I'm missing, but the theme, it seems, has been that it's been a boring weekend of Six Nations, a poor advertisement for a neutral. I read some things where people are saying if you watch that Netflix documentary and you're excited to be a new rugby fan, this was a really bad weekend to welcome you to the sport.
It's almost like
I don't feel like
there's
that.
like 2 levels of fans. There's like rugby nerds, and then there's
Yeah.
like the guys that watch just the Six Nations.
We're kind of purists, aren't we?
Yeah.
We love the
Like,
dirty, boring games.
I love the chess match rugby.
Yeah.
Like I love rugby where it's like you're 1 point, like
Yeah. Grinding out.
grinding.
Yeah.
Like everything is so tight. There's nothing given away.
Yeah.
Like I love chess match rugby.
Me too. So I feel like that's maybe one for the purists, a bit of a cliche. Maybe that's the theme of the weekend. I don't know.
I like flashy high score in rugby too.
Oh,
but
yeah.
usually when you get those games, one team is
They're
getting-
blowouts.
Yeah, the blowout games.
Yeah.
It's not you don't get a very competitive like high scoring game. You do sometimes,
Yeah.
but it happens. It doesn't happen that often.
That's what I was saying to my wife the other day. Like the problem with rugby at the minute, and I think even at the World Cup, which is our global spectacle, those pool stages, there's so many blowouts that it's hard to get involved as a neutral, right? There's too much of a gulf between the best and the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I bought tickets for the France World Cup, I didn't want to go to any pool games.
Yeah,
I wanted to go where the stakes are higher.
that's right. And I think Portugal stepped up. They
Yeah.
gave us some excitement. And but there's teams like Namibia who I want to do well, but they're just not competitive, are they, in the World Cup?
No.
And they're always there. But how do they,
You kind of look at the pool and you already know who's exiting. Except
Exactly.
there's always one pool where there's like 3 like top level teams in it,
Yeah,
and then you don't know, and that's the only pool.
yeah.
And that's the only thing in the world in the pool stages that matters.
Yeah.
The whole there's like how many teams? There's like 5 or 6 teams in each pool. There's 20
5,
teams.
right?
There's 20 teams, right?
Yeah.
So out of all those teams, out of all those games, only one game really matters.
In a pool stage.
Yeah, one game out of all those games because there's that one pool that has like it's the pool of death. Like it was
Ireland, South Africa, Scotland.
yeah, that one. Oh, I
Yeah.
guess there's actually a couple more than this one too because like Wales, Fiji, Australia.
But the point is, the 2 best teams in any pool are just competing for who's going to get a home. Sorry, not a home, but who's going to get a better seed in the quarters rather than
Mm-hmm.
competing with every team in the pool, right? That's not a good advertisement for it, is it?
Yeah.
for a neutral or a brand new fan or something,
Yeah.
which is a bit shit.
Yeah. There's just less. I don't know about the FIFA if it's like that.
It's not like that.
Is
But,
it
I mean,
not?
there's
more competition.
much
in the
more
pools?
competition. I mean, it's hard to compare because how many global sports have such prestigious World Cups? There's actually not many, is there really? Like cricket is reasonably competitive internationally, but even then there's going to be blowouts.
But isn't there like, I don't even know. I can't even mention on cricket.
I mean, there's enough teams who like and play the sport that it's not dissimilar to rugby, where there's like a set number of teams who you know are going to be good, and there are some upsets, but there's still like, Australia are always pretty good, So it's, but then like what other sports are there where there's a global World Cup where everyone is interested and excited? Like, the American sports, which, the Super Bowl is today, and it's got an international appeal, but nobody else in the world plays that sport, do they? Nobody else is competitive in it. Basketball is maybe getting there. I don't know. We're going off track a bit here.
Yeah, where the fuck did we
Where are we
end up?
going? What have we done? I was trying to just tell the good people the day.
It's like we're watching fucking YouTube and we just
Yeah.
in a hole.
Who fucking cares about
So
this?
how does this tie into Six Nations
I
again?
don't fucking know.
Where were we?
Scotland, France.
Yeah, and
You
we were
asked me
talking
what's the theme.
we just went
It was
right off.
gone, man. I'm talking about fucking cricket. Like,
Because
okay.
in the last season of Star Trek Generation,
Shit. We're off. Okay,
my theme of the weekend, like how I felt, it was controversial.
Oh, I didn't want to say it. That's
Yeah.
I've written
Oh.
that down. I didn't want to say it because we talked about refs so much last week, and then I've written this down. It's like, if you want us to be nice to you, make the right fucking calls.
They bring up this documentary,
Oh.
and we're all like, "Oh, we love refs now."
Oh.
And then they're like, "Hey, everyone loves us. We can do whatever the fuck we
Yeah,
want."
fuck
Unleash.
you, Scotland.
Yeah, fuck you, everyone. Like, it was
Oh.
really.
It's disappointing because I really don't want to slag off refs, but let's start at the hot point of the Scotland France game.
No. Let's dig through the Scotland game too. We'll get back to it.
Okay, well we've got to
We're gonna
establish some
get
order.
there, and we're gonna get there.
Okay, we're gonna get there.
Because that's at
Okay,
the end of the game. You want to start at the end of the game first?
I wanted to start with the juiciest talking point of the game, but let's talk about the game in general. I thought Scotland didn't deserve to win, to be honest. I don't think France deserved to win.
The stats for both teams were pretty close to each
They
other.
were. It was a close game. I think if I was a Scotland fan, I would feel like, fuck's sake, our luck is never with us. And I do feel sympathy for Scottish people. It does feel like they never get the rub of the green. But having said that, there's so many games where their win depends on a single reffing decision. You've got to be more convincing in your wins then. Because France are weird again. I don't want to go back to this cliche of which French team are showing up, but what the fuck happened to the French team that beat New Zealand in the pool stages of the World Cup? The team I saw yesterday was a different team. Like, what happened to them? The drop in quality is significant.
There were some things I thought that they picked up this week.
Yeah,
I thought like France's defense was a lot better.
their defense was a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
There was a bit of flair in the back line, which I like.
Yeah.
They missed a pond.
Both
It's a
teams,
cliche.
yeah, they do. Like both teams had like their ups and downs in this game. I thought it was
Yeah.
actually a pretty like even match.
That's what I'm saying. At
like
the
they're
end of the
both
day-
fucking up in different parts, and
Yeah.
they're both good in other parts.
Yeah.
And either of them couldn't execute a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
Like just make finishes.
That's right.
Like Scotland was like a lot of their forwards are getting isolated, doing
Yeah.
shit by themselves.
They looked a bit clueless in attack at times. At the end of the day,
Scotland
it was a close
also
game.
yeah, Scotland was also leaving points. Like
They were.
there was points they could have taken. There was like the point where they should have took a 3
Yeah.
and they didn't, and then they went for the corner and then they came out with nothing.
Yeah.
So like they have to learn. Like I don't know what was up with that. Like take the points.
Yeah.
Such a tight game.
Yeah.
Like get the points.
I think there's so much expectation on Scotland to do well now. This is their time to step up. And Ireland are the gold standard in this competition, and we see them executing everything so perfectly that when we see teams like France, who we were talking about in the same way we're talking about Ireland, making mistakes that Ireland wouldn't make, and a Scotland who is supposed to be stepping up to that level,
Like that
making
Jolly Bear
mistakes.
knock on.
Yeah.
That was weird.
It was weird. It's
He
uncharacteristic, right?
he was surprised himself.
France looked knackered.
Yeah, they look tired. They look tired this tournament.
They do look
The
tired.
World
this
Cup
tournament.
hangover, I guess, is true for them.
I guess it's true, and it's annoying because I think one of Ireland's strength is they are able to rest their players because they've got this really nice system, right? Everything's in line. In France, they're still getting their fucking hides tanned every week in their league,
Yeah.
and then they're playing straight into a Six Nations game, and you can see it, right? It's that alignment is not there. Scotland, I feel like, just don't have the depth, so when they're bringing on their
Depth?
front row replacement, it's just
Yeah.
not the same level.
Depth was a real problem. Depth's a real problem for like a depth was actually a scene.
It was a theme of the weekend.
A theme
wasn't
of the
it?
weekend too, because
Yeah.
like Scotland, the quality that like France can bring on
versus Scotland.
is just not there,
Yeah,
right? And that really like just struggles for them,
it does.
which sucks because they're a good team.
They are a good team.
If they just had the backup,
yeah,
they could to finish the games. They could beat anyone on their day. They just can't. They just don't have the depth.
and that's why I want to avoid talking about that reffing decision in terms of it being the moment that decided the game.
No, fuck that. That's the moment decided the game.
It was.
I don't give a fuck about that.
And it was.
that
but
moment decided the game.
It did fucking decide the game.
Yeah.
But the point is like, if Scotland want to fulfill their potential, I need to feel like they have deserved their win and can be put a team to the sword when they're in ascendancy.
To work, like that try. That wasn't a try. You still have to work. They like worked for that.
They did.
And they earned it.
It was several phases. Yeah.
And then like France like threw a pack of smokes underneath the fucking rugby ball and got it held up. That's the only logical reason I come up with.
I know. It's gutting though, isn't it?
It's
gutting. It's hard to cheer for Scotland because a part of my brain is going, my Celtic brothers, we've got you. It's like being a Welsh fan, like, it's just like we're just so close yet so far. And Scotland have just suddenly got this like X Factor backline. And this belief. They've beat England a few times recently, and I just want them to take that step up to the next level. And it just feels like every time they're given a chance, luck or themselves, they don't have enough to get over the line.
Yeah, they don't have players.
And it must suck to be a Scottish fan,
Yeah.
Because I feel like with Wales, we have gone much beyond our potential at times, mostly because of Gatland. And that feeling you get winning those Grand Slams in, 2012, 2005, 2008, 2019, right? It felt like we were doing it against the odds, and yeah, we've had some luck, no doubt.
I don't know. I also like, if you're a Scotland fan, like Scotland is already punching above its weight.
But
its player pool, its whole system, the money they have there, like they're already exceeding expectations.
Well, here's the thing.
Like they're going up against a big nation like France, and then taking them to the last minute.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
And they should have won that game, right?
That's the tricky bit to talk about for me. Because I agree with you, but I want to get away from the narrative that a game is decided on a single decision right at the end. A game is won over 80 minutes. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's true. They should have played a better game, but it's rugby, it's sport.
Yeah.
Games come down to final calls.
Yeah, they do.
Right?
They do. And if we want to talk about, which we will right now, that was a fucking try.
That was a try.
That was a fucking try. I saw it.
I don't know how. I don't know. I was trying to look around the internet and see what other like pundits were saying about it.
The referee on the field was about to give it as a try.
Yeah, he was
about to go, that's a try. And then the TMO goes, no, hang on a minute. We've got to look at it again.
I think he was looking for I think the word around was he needed 100%
clarity.
Right? Clarity. Yeah. And I was like, dude, it was there. Like the whole world saw that.
On the ground.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I bet you Geltier was in the office be like, fuck, it's a try.
Because if we get to a stage where we need a fucking x-ray machine to figure out if the ball's touching the grass, this game isn't going to this is not going to work, is it?
Yeah, it was just a bad call.
It was just a bad call. And they happen. It's just a shame that it decided the game in the 80th minute, isn't it?
And Scotland has a history of that.
That they do. I'm thinking back to that game against Australia in the World Cup, and they were robbed. They were robbed.
It was the French like Renault.
I don't want to talk about that.
He ran off the field.
I'm a changed man. I'm not talking about it.
He put a smoke bomb and like a fucking ninja. Like after he blew that whistle, you see him run. He ran out of that field. He's like, I'm getting out of here. Like fuck.
Helicopter SWAT team in the parking lot picking him up.
He fucking And I remember Laidlaw's face when they're trying to interview him. He was just shocked.
He couldn't speak.
He's like,
I can't speak.
Like they did something amazing and then it just got taken away from him. I felt bad for him.
I know.
But yeah, Scotland has a history of bad. I think they got robbed. They got robbed.
As a Welshman, I want to give them some of our jam from our Jam Slam year.
Yeah, they needed some jam.
They just need a little bit of jam.
They don't ever get jam.
They never get jam.
No.
Just they can have a bit of ours. We've run out actually.
They don't even get butter. They just get margarine.
Oh my god, just dry soda bread Scotland.
Yeah.
Oh, poor guys. I feel bad for him.
Yeah, I felt bad for them. I was like, I just couldn't. I was just sitting there. I was sitting in the bar in my French jersey.
Yeah, you were. Oh, why didn't I write that in my notes? Why did you show up in a fucking French jersey? That's another thing.
It looks nice. A nice jersey.
That's not how this works. That's not how this works.
I'm Canadian. I can float.
Oh, if only that was simple.
I don't have a cultural tie to any team really.
Your last name's Scottish.
Yeah, but it's not really a thing.
I wish I could pick and choose like you do. Just fair weathering everything.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I own 2 All Blacks jerseys. I wear them all the time. Yeah. Yeah, I just, I don't know. Whatever feels
Beautiful.
good. Whatever feels good for the day, that's what I go with.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
but I'm going to say Scotland got robbed.
yeah, hard to disagree with you. Although what I'm trying to say is that a weak French team in Murrayfield that you can beat, I need to see 80 minutes of you convincingly beating them. Not like hammering them, but they were there to be beaten. And
I don't think they were that weak. I like their defense was amazing.
They played really
But
well.
it's their attack. Their attack is completely disjointed. They started that Luku guy again, and he it's just not the guy.
He doesn't have the right
He
tempo.
had really good, he would come off the bench a lot
Yeah,
and make a good impact.
yeah.
But
He's not a general in the same way
No.
Dupont is he?
no,
Yeah.
they're missing the attack, the back line is just all over the fucking place.
Let me put it another way then. I'm not saying Scotland deserve to win or they need to prove something. What I'm saying is if someone were upset about that game because of that reffing result, and that's kind of they feel entitled to have won that game because that was a try. It was a try. But I would be frustrated if a Scottish fan or anyone else was like, we were robbed and we deserve to win. Because what you and I are saying is it was a close game. It was a coin toss game. It's a shame it was decided by a dodgy ref call, but it was a really close game. Neither one team outshone the other, you know?
Yeah, at the end of the day, you should never leave the game in the hands of the ref.
Exactly.
It should be more convincing, but
Don't be salty about it if that was what happened.
this is sport, and it's still
Yeah.
games do come down to this.
Yeah. Having said that, I know that might sound a bit hypocritical coming from a Welsh guy because we've had some jam.
Yeah, everyone's
So
gets
I'll
jammed.
shut the fuck up. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's Scotland
Yeah.
and France.
Poor little Scotland.
Gelte must be a little bit less sweaty.
You really think they're
I
going to
was
fire him?
I was pretty confident if he would have lost there,
Mm.
he would have lost to Scotland. They were going to come for his head.
Yeah.
All French farmers and stuff that come with their pitchforks.
Fucking guillotine and the
Looks like a scene from Beauty and the Beast. They're coming in with their
Yeah.
with the fucking
Yeah.
torches and
Yeah.
shit. Yeah, I was pretty sure he's probably still being analyzed right now
yeah.
if he's in or out.
Yeah. Yeah, they've got high expectations and rightfully so. They
Yeah.
have such depth and a really healthy domestic league. They've got a lot of talent. Thought Tuolangi looked good when he came on.
Yeah, he had a
and
decent game. Yeah,
Fiku obviously won man of the match, and he was good. He was looking, he's getting on a little bit, but he's still got the pace, right? That try he kind of scored in the corner, he's still got the speed to do the thing.
Finn Russell looks like he's carrying the team a little bit.
He is, and France's defense was pressing high and fast, and he dealt with that reasonably well.
Yeah.
But like you said, because they were pressing high and fast, I felt like a lot of Scottish forwards were getting isolated.
He creates so many opportunities, and he doesn't have any around him to benefit from those opportunities.
That's right. You can imagine another team with a bit of a better depth picking up those offloads that he's good at and scoring a few more tries.
Mm-hmm.
But I think France did a good job of keeping Scotland caged because they've got a good back line.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It was just a close game. France's defense was good.
It was a good game.
It was a good game. I
Besides
enjoyed
anything,
it.
it was a good game.
I enjoyed watching it. Yeah,
Whatever
totally.
the fucking those Mountain Dew motherfuckers are saying.
Yeah,
that was a good game.
Yeah, I enjoyed. Well, I mean, I didn't enjoy Italy-Ireland, but I enjoyed watching Ireland like this, the wellest, oilest machine you've ever seen, which we'll come to. But I didn't enjoy it because it was a hammering. It was boring. But as an Irish fan, you'd be thinking, we've got a fucking good team here, boys. Happy days.
Well, let's talk about your boys.
My boys.
England, Wales.
Yeah, I think so. First thing I want to say is,
Was it a robbery?
No.
And now you're like, yeah,
No.
they're completely robbed.
No, not at all. Not at all. I think I went into that game thinking we're going to lose this, even though I predicted a Wales win because of the passion. But I'm happy again, actually. I'm happy with the loss, which is something I haven't said in a long time because we're seeing who is the future. Alex Mann had a class game, scored a try. Cameron Winnett is in his second game for Wales, looking like an international fullback.
He looked good. He had some good.
He was solid, man.
He had some try-saving tackles too.
He did.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy about that. I'm really happy to see Rio Dyer making that wing shirt his own.
Oh my God. He's going to become a name.
He is good.
He has just come out of his shell.
How hard did he work? He was chasing everything.
He was doing everything on the field.
Yeah.
He was incredible.
Yeah, he was.
I was watching the game. He's going to he's putting himself in the upper echelons of wingers in the world.
Hopefully, talking about world-class wingers one day, right?
Like after the Six Nations, people will be like, when they're making like World 15 teams and they're the best, like he's in there.
Yeah.
He has to be in there.
He's looking good. Just his work rate, right?
Like his work rate, like I haven't, like all weekend in the whole Six Nations, I haven't seen anyone as good as he's been.
Just chasing everything.
He puts his body on the line. He's doing everything.
No, I got big time.
He's incredible.
Yeah. So
Tommy Raffel had a fucking amazing
Tommy
game.
Raffel defensively as a 7. Wow, just turning everything over, right? So like I'm not upset. Like I hate losing to England, but there's so many positives as a Welsh fan. Like you always have to put in context how young this team is and how inexperienced this team is, right? So like
unless you're like the Irish media.
Just like that was the worst thing. Like, just give us a break. Like, we've all been dog shit at once in our lives. Like, give us a break. We're like, this is the ultimate rebuild year, right?
Yeah.
And look back to last year when we played England and we lost. The players are threatening strike.
Yeah,
and
exceeding expectations for sure.
Yeah, we've got the smallest player pool of any Tier 1 international side, and to go against England and make it a close game and be leading for most of the game, and we haven't scored in a first half game in the Six Nations in a long, long time, and we got 2 good tries in the first half. There's negatives, and I'll talk about them, but like overall, I just want to say like a lot of the players, I'm really happy with who's coming through. Like give it a couple of years, we've got a good squad. Yeah.
A scary thing that I thought was coming to fruition.
Yeah.
In this game, England's defense.
Yeah. I want to talk about England as a whole, but do you want to talk about that right now?
Or do you still have more to say about Wales?
I've got so much to say about Wales, but we can jump back and forth. Like
your notes look like a fucking Stephen King novel over there. It's like fucking 80 pages.
Yeah, there was a spooky lamp. So anyway, let me just mention a couple more names. Some names drop. So I'm going to say Elliot D. He never starts, and giving him a start, and our lineouts were fine while he was throwing him, right? And it's just that we're a different team when he plays.
Yeah, it's like the same, same as Scotland, sub quality though.
That's
for Wales.
That's the one thing. If we're papering over the cracks, it's our depth is paper thin.
Yeah, and then
that's
what
worrying.
England was able to bring on versus what Wales was able to sub with.
Yeah,
it was like light years different.
It was different, but like another thing I want to say is I don't think our front row is as bad as was made out. Like there was a few
scrum. We'll get to that too.
We will. Okay, so that's all I got to say about the positives for Wales. Like I'm reasonably happy with that game. That's what I want to say. Like the future's bright. There are a couple negatives like Ryan Elias. He does a lot well in terms of carrying and physicality, but if he's our second choice hooker, like we're fucked. Because as soon as Elliot D is injured, all of a sudden we can't win our own lineouts. We can't convert chances. Like we can't win games, and that's as simple as that.
Just buy one from South Africa.
We already spent all our money on Tynus de Beer for Cardiff, so we got no money left.
He probably play hooker. He's like
he's a stocky boy. Could do.
He's a stocky boy.
Probably fucking throw better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what I got to say about Wales, I guess. But
England, that pressure they were putting on Wales at the beginning. Slicing the ball through.
Yeah.
And they just kept the ball constantly in Wales half. I thought was brilliant. They just kept that pressure on and on and on.
They did.
And it was incredible. And that it kind of faded, but they started really hot.
But in the second half, their mega blitz defense was keeping us shut the fuck down.
Yeah, they stayed in the game because of the mega blitz.
And do you know who had a good game? Maro fucking Itoje. He's back. He was putting some huge hits. He was flying out the line, smashing people. And I thought he was done. Not done, but he's been quiet recently. He had a game, I thought.
There was... they had some good games. They also gave Wales a lot of chances.
They did. They made a lot of mistakes early on. We lived off a few of their mistakes early on. They were knocking it on. And that first yellow card was a total rugby incident.
And I
wasn't
thought
a yellow.
at the end of the game, Wales put themselves under unnecessary pressure.
We just couldn't attack. We just lost all shape.
They just started kicking it around, and then it just went to hell for them.
It did. And we were kicking the ball to Freddie Stewart. I haven't been kind about Freddie Stewart. I said he's a bit one-dimensional. He was breaking the line. He was catching everything we threw at him. He had a great game.
He always catches everything.
He does always catch everything.
And I see teams just constantly kick to him.
Yeah.
Like, there's no competition there.
No.
Like, don't kick to this fucking guy because he's going to catch it. He's going to beat your guy.
Yeah. And England's kicking game was good.
Yeah.
They were slicing us up in the second half with these like midfield kicks.
Yeah, I like that kick pressure. They just, every time they got the ball, if it wasn't where they wanted to play, they just fucking threw it back into the Wales's half there.
Yeah. And they'd win a lot of those balls.
They just stayed there.
They did.
Like,
they did.
No, we're just going to play rugby over here.
Yeah.
And that was that immense pressure. It looked good.
That zone domination, right?
I thought there was a step up in a lot of different aspects of their game in this game.
Yeah.
Their attack is still like dull.
here's if I was going to say a few things about England, which obviously I am, if I was an England fan, I'd be sitting there going, when are the good times coming? This is a really exciting, talented squad. Defensively, we look good. George Ford controlled the game really well. Freddie Stewart was catching the things he was kicking in the air for him. But where's this exciting attack, right? When are we going to see Borthwick's attacking game?
Because they have the hyper blitz, but they don't have a hyper attack.
It's like Warren Ball from 2008, it is. It's just like kick pressure, blitz defense, let them make mistakes and live off them.
Yeah,
it's like
and try to create opportunities. They're like off of their mistakes. They're not really creating anything themselves.
With a team with a union with that much resources, like you're patting yourselves on the back for scraping by a Welsh children's team and an Italy team. Like you should be aiming a lot higher. And yeah, their defense is starting to take shape, but I still need something more from attack from them, considering the players they got. It's a mixed bag if I was English,
But still, you could see they're going to be a hard team to beat.
They are going to be a hard team to beat.
They're looking like a harder and harder team to beat now.
The tempting thing to say is that Ireland-England game is going to be an interesting fixture. But if I'm realistic, I think Ireland are going to smash them.
I'm just worried that England is going to be fully utilized. Like everything's kind of going to click at that game.
We were saying that for a while though. That's what I'm saying is when is it going to click? When is it going to click?
It's coming together.
Defensively,
yeah,
sure.
Defensively, but they got boots, so they can always stay in the game with points.
That's true,
right? So they're never out of it. So if they can keep the games tight and close, right, it can go either way.
So they're just going to revert to form and just arm wrestle against Ireland, sort of thing.
If they beat Ireland, that's how it's going to be.
It is, but I think Ireland know how to deal with that by now. Like they're a few steps ahead. They know what's coming.
Well,
and they
their
know how to
attack
deal
is
with
really
it.
good.
Their attack is good, right?
Yeah, so they'll be putting a lot of pressure on that. They're going to wear them out.
And the thing about Ireland is they're not giving up the ball like Wales do, right? They keep and hold that ball, and they can use their forwards to punch holes even against a blitz defense.
Also, I think Borthwick is not using a lot of tools.
He's not.
That he has.
He's not. That's what I think. That's the criticism.
I wonder if Oboso is regretting his decision.
Oh, I don't want to talk.
He made this decision to play for England.
Yeah.
And he's just fucking warming the bench. He's not playing any rugby.
No. Was he just capped to keep him away from us?
That's the conspiracy.
Yeah.
Now I'm starting to believe because they just don't play him.
Well, do you know what? We've got Rio Dyer, so whatever.
Yeah, but
keep him on your bench.
Rio Dyer and Faye Woboso both out there.
I'm starting to think Josh Adams is having a bit of a downturn as well.
I think so too. He was kind of silent. I think he had there was a bad call against him too. I thought
there was a bad call. I didn't think he knocked the ball on.
He had some good runs.
Yeah, so but there was a clear try score opportunity where he passed inside. It was a try, which would have taken us beyond a score, and he didn't pass. And I thought that's not the Josh Adams I know. So yeah,
he's getting up there.
But
George North had
a good game.
Yeah.
He had some good carries, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not done. Not by a long shot.
Alien Daly. That's all. He had a pretty good game too. As much as I shit on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a pretty decent game.
The Swiss Army knife of rugby has a game. Yeah.
I don't know about Jamie George as captain.
He had a bit of a shocker, didn't he?
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know if he just has a control over the team. I don't know what's going on.
It's hard to say what being a captain means to people who are just watching.
Yeah,
because
true.
We don't hear what they're saying to each other, do they? So it's hard to know.
He did not look happy.
I just don't think he had a good game, to be honest. He grew into it in the second half, but he definitely was responsible for a lot of letting Wales off the hook early on,
Also, this game, I want to talk about it too, had a lot of bad calls.
I knew we were going to get to it, and I wanted to talk about that as a whole, so let's get into it.
Yeah. There were some bad, that ref, I felt, didn't have control over the game.
Yeah.
And he, look at the scrum. If you look at the scrum statistics,
it felt I didn't think our scrum was performing badly, and we get scrum penalties against us. I had no idea why. Clearly, he's seen something.
There was something he was, I don't know, the way he was calling the cadence or something.
Yeah.
But every scrum, he all of a sudden would just stop.
Yeah.
I don't think he was reffing the scrum really well because both teams' scrum was pretty poor.
I just didn't think the scrum had a chance to get going. There wasn't much competition at the scrum.
He was kind of holding, this ref was kind of holding the scrum back.
He was, yeah.
There was there was a few knock-on calls that were blatantly not knock-ons. He called knock-ons, and then there was knock-ons that I guess that's average for a game.
Yeah, there was a few things I thought were forward passes from both teams, and I think he missed. And you accept that, don't you? But when you add it all together, it did give me the sense that he was chasing the game, didn't have control of it at the scrum.
Yeah.
Because one of the criticisms I saw was like, oh, Wales's front row wasn't good. And I was like, I thought they were fine. I just didn't think the scrum was a really irrelevant factor in the game because he kept stopping and starting it and giving, from what I could see,
he kind of
random penalties. So, I thought... Yeah. And then obviously the big call, which I don't think would have changed the outcome of the game, was George Ford taking Dyer out the air, which wasn't intentional or malicious, but it's a penalty, right?
That's a penalty for sure.
And to be clear, I don't think that would have changed the game. I thought it was already the 80th minute.
I don't give a fuck if it changed the game or not.
No, but I don't want to sound salty. What I'm saying is it's a penalty.
Your justification.
No, but I'm saying I'm not trying to sound like a salty bitch. We'd already lost that game.
That would have been big. That would have been a big impact. He would have got that penalty there.
Yeah.
They would have kicked up the field.
We'd have lost the line out.
You might have lost.
No, we would have lost the line out.
But that would have made a big impact. That would have gained them a lot of ground.
It would have, but we were already going nowhere with our attack. All I'm saying is that was a penalty. So from a reffing point of view, you have to be...
Why?
Yeah.
How did you not... It was the strangest thing.
And I think it was because the linesman, which was Ben O'Keefe, who I don't want to slag off, but it was going to sound like I'm slagging off, was like, no, that was nothing. And then it was just a line out, and I was like, okay, then, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know how they saw it, and then everyone else in the world saw it differently.
Yeah.
It was just, this whole weekend had a lot of strange reffing calls. What a weekend to have strange reffing calls right after that documentary.
I'm trying to hold back so hard after
I was ready to send death threats.
We rehabilitated ourselves last week, didn't we? But here we are going.
I was so shocked. I'm like, that's it. I'm sending death threats. Fuck it. Now I understand these guys. Fuck these refs.
Oh,
I'm just going to throw away all my fucking ambition. I'm just going to throw everything away. I'm as a human being. I'm just going to start sending death threats to these fucking guys.
I'm trying so hard to be diplomatic, but you're just looking at these games going like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you're like holding your tongue. Like,
everything was fine. Yeah, I'm really happy about that performance. Like, Jesus,
as long as you tried, you know.
You're really proud of you boys. Like,
as long as you had fun. Yeah, it was really hard. I was really triggered. Because there are some fucking bad calls. Even that Chesum card.
Yeah,
I thought was like
it was a bit light, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I
was like, come on, guys.
I was happy we were playing against 14, but I didn't think that was a yellow. Just looked accidental, didn't it?
Yeah. So I didn't see what Mason Grady did.
It was a deliberate knock on, and even for me, he didn't really look like he knew where the ball was. Like I thought he was putting his arms out for a tackle. I could be wrong, but I thought that was a bit harsh as well, you know. So and let's talk about the charge down. So George Ford is stepping up to take a
the
kick.
charge down.
Yeah. And then, the ruling, and I read the rules for this a couple of weeks ago because I was thinking about that South Africa charge down on France in the World Cup.
Yeah.
And the ruling is, or the law of the game is, as soon as a player starts to make movement, something like that. I think they need to change that to be a step forward because you could scratch your ass and count that as movement, right? And that seemed to be what George Ford was saying after the game. They need to look at that because all of a sudden, Dan Bigger's Macarena routine is counted as movement and you can start charging him down, right? They need to change that to be specific. Point. It needs to be a step forward. Otherwise, it could be anything, right?
It was really awkward.
It was. And I think the ref didn't quite know what to do because Rio Dyer ran up. He got there. He didn't touch the ball because he's like, am I allowed to do this? And then another Welsh player, I don't know who, came up and kicked the ball away. And the ref was like, yeah, seems fine to me. Like, let's keep going.
Yeah, that guy had, I never seen him before.
Yeah.
But he had, I felt like he didn't have
confidence.
He didn't have control over the game.
Yeah.
It was a shitty game to have. I've never seen him before. I don't know if he's been around much.
Yeah,
I didn't notice him.
No.
So, but yeah, there was just a lack of control.
Yeah.
In the game.
But at the end of the day, I enjoyed the game.
I did too.
I thought it was engrossing. I don't know why people are slagging it off, saying everyone's shit and it was boring. I
just wanted Wales to win so I could be right on the call and be like, yeah, I called it.
Yeah, our predictions were pretty off this week.
I'm a prediction god.
Yeah, we're not prediction gods.
No,
we suck.
Well, I didn't know the refs were going to go fucking Wild West. They're going to go rogue.
Yeah.
The order of refs. We can do what we want now. People love us. I didn't know that was going to happen.
Yeah.
No one called that.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm going to say two more things about England.
You say your two more things about England.
I think they miss Marcus Smith as badly as France missed Dupont from an attacking point of view. George Ford had a class game and he controlled it well, but England's attacking spark comes from someone like Marcus Smith, and they miss him. And the other thing I was going to say is England were trying to big up this. We want the England fans behind us. We want to build up Fortress Twickenham. We want all of England to be excited about English rugby. You have to play attacking rugby to do that.
Well, they're going to have to wait 4 years because their new attack coach is coaching in South Africa now. So when he's done after World Cup, they'll hire him
They'll
too.
get the sloppy seconds back.
They love their Springbok sloppy second coach. They love it. That's how they do the shopping.
Yeah.
They just look at the coaches. They're like, oh, which one do we want?
Yeah. When's he gonna leave?
Yeah.
We'll
They don't do
grab him.
They don't do any work. They just look over there.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll buy that guy.
Yeah.
We'll buy that guy.
Yeah. They play the same style of rugby, don't they? So he'll fit right in.
They're like, yes, I don't know. Their attack is something to be questioned. But I think it's just Borthwick's style.
I think so. I think it is.
Yeah.
Like you've got someone like Faboso on the
sitting
on the bench, just sitting there. Yeah. Like he's your attacking weapon. Use him.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So
Whatever.
now you want to talk about the most exciting game of the weekend?
Oh, what a game!
What a thriller!
What a game!
I was on the edge of my seat for
me
this
too,
one.
Yeah. Wow.
Ireland, Italy.
Yeah. What a game!
I was like looking. I was trying to write notes for this game, and here's my notes. Highlights of Ireland, Italy. That fucking 8-year-old kid that sang the Irish anthem. Wow. That was my notes.
Which anthem did he sing? Did he sing all of them?
No, he just sang the
Ireland's Call.
Yeah, Ireland's Call. He fucking killed it. That kid.
Yeah.
Like he came out there and killed it.
Is that really what we're talking about?
Yeah, that's the highlight of the game.
I mean, I thought Dan Sheehan had the game.
Yeah, well, I was expecting that.
That's kind of the point, though, isn't it? That's, exactly what we were expecting to happen happened.
It really did.
Yeah. I think I'm looking at my notes for this.
Henshaw's try. Another weird call. I thought that was a try.
That one, at least, I could see the justification for
There's
it.
a little more room for argument, I guess.
Yeah. Like,
but
for me, the Scotland no try, there's no room for argument. And that George Ford taking out someone in the air and the charge down, those are things which should be a lot clearer.
I couldn't imagine being a new fan right now.
Yeah.
Because everything's called so differently.
That's what people are saying.
And you're like, huh?
What's going on?
What? Like, I understand that there's interpretation. Like,
Yeah.
I've grown to understand that refs and stuff, different teams of refs have different interpretations.
Yeah.
That's part of the game.
Yeah.
I've accepted that.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that. I like how every ref brings something different to the game.
Yeah. Different
Right?
pace.
A different pace, a different style.
Yeah.
Right? And that's rugby. That's part of rugby. But new fans won't understand that.
Yeah.
Right? And yeah, I thought that Henshaw, I thought that was a try.
I think the call was crawling. I wasn't sure he was held enough for it to be a tackle. But if he was held enough for it to be a tackle, then you could call it a double movement.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's open to interpretation at least.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, it wasn't going to change the outcome of the game.
Well, it could.
Yeah. Italy didn't fire it. So here's my notes, right? Dan Sheehan. Just wrote Dan Sheehan. Very, very good. Very impressive. I wrote relentless. I'm imagining Andy Farrell saying, other teams like Scotland and England who think they're going to beat Italy probably will beat Italy.
Mm-hmm.
They are likely to switch off, bring on some kids, give them a bit of a chance because it's Italy. I think Andy Farrell is saying, we've got to be murderous, right? Do not take your foot off the throat for the entire game. And I felt like they did that, right? I felt like that was the plan. Just tear them to pieces just for ourselves to show that we can play a relentless pace for 80 minutes, right?
It was a hard game to pay attention to.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then I wrote...
Like, Farrell did, switch some things up.
Not enough. I don't think, why are you playing Hugo Keenan in that game? He's gold dust. Give him a break.
Yeah, there's some players that he still kept on.
Yeah.
But I think he still... I don't know, maybe he wants to bring... in those newer players to gel in a real game situation with, the standard players, standard Irish players.
Yeah, because Ross Byrne came on, didn't he? Or was it Harry Byrne?
Harry Byrne came on.
Harry Byrne came on towards the end.
Yeah.
Jordan Lama came on towards the end.
Yes, he
did. I would have started Lama just because you need some depth at fullback. This always seems to me to be Ireland's problem is they're doing fine. They're doing really well, but they have some positions where, and you've said this, the golfing quality between the starter and the second guy is massive. And you can improve that very simply by just giving the next guy in line more starting games. And that was a perfect opportunity to rest Hugo Keenan and start Jordan Lama.
Yeah, if Hugo goes down, that's going to be massive.
That's what I'm saying. That's
going to be massive.
Because he's so good, isn't he?
Hugo Keenan, Andrew Porter.
Yeah.
If he goes down, that'll be massive.
Yeah. So I'd want to start people like Finlay Beelum in games like that, right?
Dan Sheehan is a big step up.
Yeah.
From the next guy.
Yeah.
Was it Keller? I think it is the next guy behind him.
Yeah, I think so.
He's good too. So
they're all good, and you
yeah.
think they do a job. I think something. You remember when? Not that I'm a big NFL fan, but do you remember when Tom Brady left the Patriots and everyone was like, "Is it Tom Brady that's really good, or is it Bill Belichick that's really good?" And it turned out that it was Tom Brady. But with Johnny Sexton leaving Ireland, not that it's comparable because a quarterback and a 10 are very different, but I don't feel like Ireland are missing Sexton at all.
No.
Which is a nice surprise if you're Irish.
And I thought it was going to take them some time to adjust to that.
Not at all.
And they've just slid like all like
buttery
Jack
smooth
Crowley
into
has
Jack
just
Crowley.
slid right into that position. I really like him.
I like him a lot. He's fierce, he's determined, isn't he? He's passionate.
He gets into the game. He gets into every mix.
He's physical.
He's good.
He's a really good full package kind of 10, isn't he? Yeah. And I wrote Italy ? Because the fuck do you say about Italy?
I don't know. Capuzzo had that challenge in the air with Larmer and took the ball.
Yeah, he did.
Which didn't look good for Larmer. His first start, or he got on the pitch for his first time in a long time.
I think,
he got that happen to him.
Yeah.
Ah, man.
What did you say about Italy, though? Like, obviously I didn't think they were going to win this, but if they want to be taken seriously, you have to do something.
They just don't. I think that whole union's just a fucking mess. Like, there's just...
I don't know.
How do you get excited to watch those games?
That's right. That's exactly.
Like, you don't usually watch them. Like, if we weren't making the podcast,
well, I said to you yesterday,
I had to talk about the game, I wouldn't have watched that game. There's no way I would have woke up to watch it.
When we left the pub yesterday after England-Wales, you were saying, I'm coming over at 8 o'clock to watch it, and I was like, fuck off, no you're not. I was joking, but like, you thought I was serious because like, who's watching Italy-Ireland? Like, what a waste of time.
Yeah, it's just sad that you have a
it's a dud fixture.
Yeah, a dud fixture in the Six Nations. It has to get out of there.
I'm not saying get rid of Italy because I don't know who you replace them with that would be any good. I'm saying
how many years do you have to go on and say like, oh, like, and hope that one day they turn up?
That's what I'm saying.
It's not going to happen. It's never going to happen.
Yeah.
Stop trying to make Italy happen. Italy is not going to happen. That's why you got to bring in the Springboks. Bring the Springboks into Six Nations.
Disgusting. Horrible.
Then every game matters.
Oh, yeah, but you don't get a little
and
rest.
Then half the players die.
We need a break weekend where we can try out our combos, Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if we haven't got injury problems already, like.
Yeah, that's what there's like off games in the autumn and in the summer for.
I think the Springboks, if they came in, they would probably do the Rugby Championship and the Six Nations and have some gas to spare with their depth. They wouldn't bother them. They just send over a B team and they'd probably win every now and again,
No way. No way.
Anyways, I'm not entertaining it because it's bollocks and I don't want it. So.
It's gonna happen.
Oh no.
Springboks come in. Bring in the big boys.
Disgusting.
I would love that.
I know you would. You and every other fair weather fan.
Fair weather fan.
Get away. Wearing your France jersey to the pub, like.
Yeah. Give me them Springboks in the Six Nations. That'd be awesome.
No, it wouldn't.
Every game?
No.
Now every game matters.
I don't want every game to matter. I want to sit here.
So you like Italy in the Six Nations?
I like them because
you
I
like
can
the
sit
dud
here
fixtures.
and I can talk about it like, oh, that was boring. I like that. That's part of the Six Nations. Talking about how shit Italy are.
Because if Italy wasn't in the Six Nations, and the box were, I wonder who would be getting the wooden spoon this year.
Well, not every year. People forget we're one of the most successful teams. This year we would, yeah. This year we fucking would. Yeah, 100%. But whatever. We're rebuilding. We've got some children. I'm happy.
We got some kids going.
Yeah, we got some kids going on. It's fine.
And then I think that's the games of the weekend.
That's the games.
Do you want to talk about more of that kid? It's an Irish call. Ireland's call.
I was cooking breakfast for you when it was singing, so I guess I missed it. And then I saw it on a meme. So I guess there was a child singing a song.
Slaving over a hot stove, me and...
Yeah. And then you come in my house.
Yeah.
Start singing at the start of the podcast. Yep. I don't know. I didn't watch the kid. I'm sure. Good luck to him.
Was there any kind of interesting news?
One, it's been a bit of a quiet week. Yeah, this usually writes itself. Yeah. That's fine, though. We talk a lot, don't we? So that's not a bad thing. But a rumor.
Oh, a rumor.
Whispered on the Wins of ESPN Sports
I'm
website.
Interested in this rumor.
Yeah, so apparently, leaked document, the Melbourne Rebels and Moana Pacifica are going to merge. That's about as dramatic as it's getting this week.
How's that going to work?
The details.
What's the name going to be?
It's going to be
the Moana Rebels.
The Moana Pacifica Melbourne Rebels. It's beautiful.
You'd have to change it to an acronym just at that point.
Yeah, you would.
What would the
that'd
acronym be?
Moana MPMR.
The MPMR coming down. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's rough.
What a fucking disaster.
That's just when the Joe Schmidt is coaching Australia news happened, I was like, Australia is saved. The savior has arrived. And then I'm not going to talk about Kurtley Beale, but
what the fuck's going on?
yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
What a disaster.
Yeah, Australia, like, I need them to be good. We've got a Lions tour
How
going
is that
there. We've got a
gonna
World
appeal
Cup.
to anyone?
I just don't know how it works logistically.
I don't know how it works either.
Like, where are they playing from? And like, who's funding the cash for that? It doesn't seem like either of them are particularly.
Do they have home
wealthy.
games? Because Moana Pacifica, they play in Australia, don't they? They play somewhere in Australia.
I think they play some games in Australia. Yeah.
And they have like an off game where
Yeah.
they allow like Tonga and Samoa to watch a game.
I'm not going to pretend I know a lot about this, but it does make me think that Australian rugby is in a pit and they're papering over the cracks. And we kind of knew that, but I was just hoping that some of the things I'd heard were positive signs. But I don't know. And I heard that Melbourne is a rugby league town, so the Melbourne Rebels aren't getting big turnouts. But surely there's enough people who like rugby in Australia that you don't have to do that, you know?
No.
So
It's, yeah. It's,
I don't want a Lions tour to go to Australia and for it to be shit, you know?
that's scary.
It is scary.
That's the only thing I care about.
I love, honestly, I'm being selfish about it. I just don't want a shit Lions tour, you know? And I don't want a shit World Cup in Australia.
I also watch the Rugby Championship too. I love the Rugby Championship.
Yeah, and if I'm being less selfish, we need a good Australia to keep New Zealand in check and upset them every once in a while, and to be competitive in the Rugby Championship, because otherwise it's basically a shootout between South Africa and New Zealand, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because like as much as I love Argentina, they haven't even got a professional side. They punch so much above their weight, right? And Australia presumably have the resources to stay in the fight.
It's like a Zanzibar is their own worst enemy.
It feels like that.
Why isn't Japan in the Rugby Championship?
I don't know.
Why isn't Fiji in the Rugby Championship?
Yes, yeah, that's a good
question. What the fuck are you guys doing over there?
Yeah, I know.
Like, get that, like bring in that competition.
You've got a
grow
tropical
the sport
Six
in that area.
Nations.
They don't give a fuck about growing the sport. That's why they don't give a fuck. They just don't give a fuck. They just want to watch their own teams play. Like, man, like grow that area.
Yeah.
Make it more competitive.
Maybe it's a money thing. You know.
They can fuck it. They can make it work.
You think you would want to because like you've got to spend
you don't think
money.
Japan doesn't have money?
Oh, they have money.
They got fucking money.
They've got money.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've got like billion-dollar
and people
companies.
show up to their games.
Yeah, they do.
Look at the Sunwolves.
Well, I think
they couldn't win a game to save their life, and they're packing that stadium fucking every game.
Didn't they beat Crusaders once?
No, they had a few upsets.
They had a few upsets, but they weren't in it long enough. They weren't even.
No, I know there's some drama with their professional, like the top league, and I think that's what it's called, and with Super Rugby there.
So I do know a bit about that. So you know those Japanese rugby teams, they are not teams in the sense that they're clubs. They are literally owned by those companies, and people go to those games as a form of entertainment. Those clubs are created so that the workers for those companies can have something fun to do. That's the purpose of those clubs. So you're kind of obliged to go to watch these games. It's like you're government ordered entertainment. It's a very structured society, right? It's true.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And I was listening to one of these guys who went out there to play in a podcast a while ago, and they have to go to training as if they're going to a day at work. They dress formally. It's a job for them. They're working for fucking Coca-Cola company or something, right?
Yeah.
So it's a very different kettle of fish. It's not like a good old rugby club where all the old boys are there at the bar with the beers, It's not like that.
I do know there was some conflict there though, with having the Sunwolves there.
Yeah.
But still, like Japan and Fiji, there's no excuse to not have them in the rugby championship.
Particularly Fiji. Why aren't Fiji in the rugby championship, right?
And Japan, rightfully so.
I think so.
These are two growing competitive nations.
Yeah, nurture them.
Get them in there.
Yeah.
Make that
And we could even say the same thing about Tonga and Samoa, right? Like, why are not historically been in the rugby championship, right? Like, what's stopping you? Presumably it's money and stuff. And we know Samoa's
I know their unions are
pretty corrupt
disaster,
as well, but yeah.
Too, right? So there's lots of but Fiji seemed like everything, like they had a good World Cup. The The Drua are doing great.
Yeah.
They're having more home games in Fiji.
Yeah.
Like everything's trajecting like good for them.
That's right. So it's sad that we're talking about the Rebels merging with Moana Pacifica.
Yeah,
isn't
we're
it?
talking about we're talking about this. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And I love the rugby championship.
I like it more than I think I do. Like every time I watch it, I go, "Oh, actually, this is awesome." And then, but most of the season, I'm like, well, I don't care about that. But then I watch it and go, "Actually, this is class. This is like the top tier of rugby smashing each other."
Yeah.
So that's why I want Australia to be good. You know, so that competition could be something worth watching and enjoyable. But here we are.
And the games all are relatively competitive.
Well, it's not like the Six Nations though, where they don't have an Italy. You have to take Argentina more seriously than
you do.
Someone would take.
You can't sleep on them.
You can't
they will
like you
fucking
can't
beat
sleep on Italy. Yeah.
I bet years ago that was kind of the mentality for them, but they have
no.
really
Argentina have improved.
It's like these motherfuckers can train via Zoom and beat you.
They can. Yeah. They have a lot of registered rugby players. Argentina does. Like if you look at the stats of how many it's a big sport there. They just don't have a professional team, so you got to take them seriously, right? But I don't know, man. That's all I got to say about that.
Another thing down south too.
Yeah.
Rassie Erasmus coaching setup.
What's he up to now?
Well, he.
Do you know what the Springboks? They're up to something.
The Springboks are up to something.
They are up. I just got a feeling in my bones. They're already thinking about the next World Cup, and it's not in terms of how they play the game. They're moving coaches around like chess pieces on a board so that they can fucking swoop down when no one's expecting it. They're going to bust out some shiny-looking coaching squad. They're going to do some new tactics, and no one's going to be ready for it. They're like fucking 6 moves ahead of everyone else.
And it almost seems like anyone that Rassie wants, he gets. People must love working with him.
Oh, yeah.
Like when you hear interviews about their coaching setup and how they work, like he has created like a super attractive environment.
I would go to war for Rassie. I'm not even South African. I just love the guy. He just knows what he's doing, doesn't he?
There's just like no one will say no to him.
No.
He must be the most famous person in South Africa.
Yeah.
Because he can get whatever he wants, and anyone he asks to work with him, love working with him. So that environment is already a step ahead of everyone.
He's up to something.
Yeah. And that big call, like the big thing, the big coaching sign I thought for him was Tony Brown.
That's a big deal, eh?
That's a huge deal. And I think
because he's a tell me
Kiwis are going to be
he's taking the New Zealand secrets over to South Africa. That's what I'm saying. They're up to something.
Because this guy, Tony Brown, he's like, I just got to make sure, for sure I'm saying his name right.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, Tony Brown. But this is the guy, like you see a lot of Kiwi coaches go to a lot of other nations.
Yeah.
And they can't really replicate that open offense that the All Blacks have. And Tony Brown can.
Because he did it with Japan, right?
Did it with Japan.
Yeah.
Like Japan had that amazing, really attractive attack, really dangerous attack because of Tony Brown.
Yeah. And we were saying this earlier, right? It's like an example of that is someone like Wayne Pivac went to Scarlets and they were playing champagne rugby, flinging the ball around. They made Leinster and Munster look like children in a semi-final and a final. So we bring him in and there's the Wales coach and he just couldn't do it, right? Mm-hmm. And that makes you go, well, must be because the New Zealand players are talented. And that's how it works. You can't just coach that. But he proved people wrong, right?
Yeah,
he can coach the New Zealand style of play, right?
Tony Brown being with the Springboks, because he is one of the few coaches that can actually, he knows how to coach that broken like attack style that New Zealand has. Like
just mental offload game, just thriving in the chaos, right?
Because if there's any kind of broken play, and an All Black gets their hands on the ball, you're fucked.
You are.
You're completely fucked.
Yeah, because they've got two guys either side of them. They're lightning fast. They don't drop the ball. They can offload in any tackle.
Constantly looking for space.
Yeah.
They are just, And he can take that to a team and implement it. Like, look when he left the Highlanders. Like, when he left the Highlanders, they weren't the same team after he left.
No, they were being talked about in the same way the Crusaders are always talked about, right?
Yeah.
Like, these are the big boys now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They looked incredible. He left.
Did. Yeah.
And then they were never
and it's
the
been
same.
Crusaders ever since, basically, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's if I was a Kiwi, I'd probably be pretty pissed about that, because that's a huge call for them. Because South Africa are a very physical team.
Yeah.
Amazing defense.
Yeah.
But their attack is still it's not the greatest.
It's not the greatest. They still have to wear a team down before they open them up, whereas New Zealand don't, do they? They can just punch a hole immediately.
Yeah, because everything is like worked for.
Yeah.
So everything that they get in points wise, they had to work for.
Yeah.
When New Zealand, they look for like opportunity. They can take a point. They get points all over the place. Doesn't matter. They can either work for it or they can create it off of any kind of fuck up the other team does.
That's right. New Zealand could be at 20% possession and still win a game comfortably, right?
And you saw that a lot.
Yeah.
You saw that a lot. Like never had the ball.
Yeah.
They would play whole games without the ball, and then the score would be like 40 points to New Zealand and like 2 for the other team.
Yeah, and they didn't even catch the ball. It was a knock on. They picked it up, scored.
They did. Yeah, it wasn't
just
any
from
kind
broken
of
play.
There was no phases or anything. They just like fucking got the ball, and they just like pop, and it's gone, and they're in the try zone.
So South Africa are adding the final gem to their gauntlet from that Marvel film, which I can't remember.
The Avengers,
the Infinity Stone, which is Tony Brown's attack.
Yeah, Tony Brown's attack. Just put it in the.
He's putting the final gem in the fucking spring box. I told you, man, they're up to something.
Yeah, they
Rassie is Thanos. That's my conspiracy.
He's the rugby Thanos.
He's just finally completed his fucking gemstone gauntlet, and we're all fucked.
To make it new, you have to take it all down.
And then one of us is going to disappear into smoke, and Springboks are never going to lose a game of rugby ever again.
The only one that can beat them is the Avengers.
Yeah.
The Lions.
I don't feel good, Mr. Stark. We're fucked.
Yeah, because he's making a lot of moves all over the place.
Yeah. I remember a game where Japan played Wales, and I was a bit nervous about it. We were playing in the Millennium Stadium. It was like 2016, 2017. And I knew this was after the 2015 World Cup where Eddie Jones was coaching them, and we saw Japan capable of beating top teams. They beat South Africa, right? And what surprised me about them was their offload game, right? There could be nothing on, and their forwards are getting driven back, but they'll just offload at the right time, and someone spots that gap, punches through it. They never stopped going forward for that reason, right? They always created something out of nothing, and it seems to me like, well, maybe we're putting too much on this, but he seems like the guy who knows how to coach that style of rugby, right?
Yeah.
So that in South Africa already have a relatively good offload game, and then you add in what is a pretty electric backline. You are right. They do earn their attacking play by smashing you up front.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get the ball into the hands of Chaz and Colby or Curtly Andress or something, still lightning, right?
Yes.
Still really good fucking players.
But those opportunities are created through hard work of their forward pack.
Yes.
And, they create that opportunity for Chaz and Kobe.
That's right.
Right? So yeah, that's why I think Tony Brown's super dangerous. That's why I think this is gonna be it's a big signing.
Yeah.
For South Africa. Just to have, someone from the enemy on the inside there.
Yeah.
Just working away.
The final fucking Infinity Stone has gone to South Africa.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that he's going to be able to, you're going to see a different attacking box side, which is because if they can get their attack flashy, as powerful as their defense, who's going to beat them?
Well, tell you, that series Ireland South Africa this year, whew.
That's going to be
tasty.
That's a tasty series.
Yeah, that's going to be a good
series. I think it's only 2 games though.
Oh, that's a shame.
They cut a game out.
Oh, I want a decider.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, that's a shame. Anyway, that'll be fun though. 2 games. I'm slappy for that.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
That's going to be like Clash of the Titans, isn't it?
It is going to be Clash of the Titans.
Clash of the ultimate chess player. Oh, yeah, I'm excited for that.
Because I think everyone thought that was going to be the final.
Yeah.
But then the All Blacks has decided to play the best game they've ever played. At the quarterfinal, just ruined it.
Well, I didn't ruin it for anyone else. They ruined it for Ireland.
Oh yeah, no. I'm taking that back. They ruined it for everyone. Everyone wanted Ireland, South Africa.
I don't know.
And then they.
I was pretty happy with the outcome.
I'm pretty sure the whole world wanted that.
Oh, okay. If you think so.
And then everything that the All Blacks had problems with.
Yeah.
Every single game before that, they completely patched up.
Against Ireland of all teams, who are pretty.
And then when they played the
box,
they went right back to. Shit, and you're like, fuck, guys.
Well, don't forget though, both the South Africa final and the Ireland quarter, they were close games. New Zealand played really well, yes, but both of those games are fucking close.
Yeah,
so,
So, but it's still, so that's serious. England going to New Zealand this year too is going to be spicy too.
It will. I'm really excited to see Scott Robertson in charge of the All Blacks. I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, to see how it goes.
Yeah, I know we were sat here earlier.
The whole world's interested in this.
Funny that we were saying we don't know what the fuck New Zealand is earlier. Ironically, obviously, sarcastically, but now I'm like, truthfully, I can't wait
We
to see
all
New
pay
Zealand.
attention.
We're all watching.
Yeah, Super Rugby. I
Oh,
don't
what's
watch it.
Super Rugby started? Yeah, I don't care about
I don't
that.
care.
I'm watching the Six
Secretly
Nations.
watching every highlight.
Yeah, yeah,
You know
yeah.
the games. You know you want to see what's going on. What those fuckers
well,
doing over
they're
there.
up to something over there.
Yeah.
I bet it's good.
Yeah, his coaching setup is really good too.
Yeah.
So it's
That's what it feels like, right? The chess pieces are in play for like Rassie's setting up in his coaching, Scott Robertson setting up his coaching.
Mm-hmm.
We're in for a showdown in the rugby championship.
We are.
It's
The
gonna be
summer
good.
tours and the rugby championship are going to be on fire.
Oh, rugby's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Rugby is it's non-stop amazing.
I can't wait.
Even the shit stuff is fun.
I can't wait for these summer tours and the rugby championship to start. Not because of like watching the games, but having to force you to wake up to watch them at like
You're
2 and 3 in the
piece of
morning.
Shit. Can't we just record them?
No, you can't record them. I told you this. We
Yeah,
talked
but
about
no
this.
one's going to spoil it at 4 a.m.
Yes, they will. I will spoil it. I need to see it live. We're doing it live.
Fucking hell.
You're gonna have to sacrifice your love.
I'm not,
This is where you really prove if you are
I've got nothing to prove.
friend of rugby.
Mr. France jersey.
the best friend of rugby.
Mr. France jersey. You shut the fuck up.
Yeah, because I'm
I'm a Patriots fan this week. Tom Brady's awesome. Shut the fuck up.
I'm still cheering for
I've
Scotland.
never seen you in an island jersey. Like,
It's because it doesn't fit.
oh, my Celtic brothers. You don't know what a Celt is. Shut your trap.
Yeah. So yeah, that's gonna be the best part.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm too.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we went over everything on our little agenda.
It's a little shorter today.
A little shorter.
Yeah.
No.
All right.
But yeah.
That was good.
All right, friends. If you have any questions or comments, you can email us at thefriendsofrugbypod@gmail.com.
Or watch us on YouTube. We just upload to YouTube. It's just the noise of us. But we're there.
Yeah, we are there.
We're there.
We're also on Twitter.
Yes.
I'm not going to call it X, as this sounds dumb.
I'm not even on Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't know. You
Catch
do
us
all-
on Twitter.
Yeah.
Send us a tweet.
Yeah.
Send us an X.
Ugh. Don't send us an X.
All right, friends. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.